All right, so we're going to go over managing and creating products here. So pretty simple. To create a product, just hit the big green button. If you want to copy parameters from an existing product, you can do that by just selecting this. It will copy everything over, and anything such as the name or the SKU ID gives it the name of copy. You can call it new, and maybe we'll just call this new. And then you define your price and the shipping type. Now your shipping type is either cost-based, which is what typically PayPal operates on. You specify how much shipping it is for this particular item. It's just a flat fee. However, you can specify for any additional item other than the first item how much it's going to cost. You can also, if you are a US merchant, use weight-based shipping, where you specify how much the weight is of this item, and then in your PayPal interface define what the shipping rates are going to be. If you're using taxation rates, if you're a European merchant, you need to specify your tax rates ahead of time. Of course, you don't use this if you're a North American merchant, but Europeans, you normally specify which tax rate you use, and that's to show people the tax included. Technical specs is normally a field that is just for the administrator, just any technical specifications for this product. Description obviously is your product description. It'll show up on your product details page. This is another field, an example visible field. Now you can define these fields through the shopping cart settings panel. We'll go through that in just a moment. And these are additional fields that you can specify and configure if you wish, if you have them. You can also specify meta keywords and a meta description so that it shows up on the product details page, in the code for search engines to Spider. And then you specify which categories you want this product to be in. Now you need to make sure that it's within a category, otherwise it's not going to show up within your catalog when somebody chooses a category. You can optionally disable this product if you wish to not display within the catalog. There is another area called optional attributes. So think of this like a t-shirt where you can specify, the user specifies what it is that they want as an option. So for example, size, regular, large, extra large. Maybe the price for the regular is $0, but if you $0 in addition to this, so it's always, this is the base price here, and this is additional. So 0, an extra $5, so that would be $15, and this one would be $20. So base plus that. So whenever they select a different option, you can choose to have them upgrade it. This is another one. Feature, short sleeve, long sleeve. You know what? It's no different for the short or the long sleeve in this particular example. Another one, does this particular item have electronics built in? None, or built-in headphones. Hey, that's kind of a cool feature. Of course, you would charge extra for that. So if you have products like that need to have additional features, this is where you go to configure it. You can hit Add Attribute, and of course you can specify what you want here. You can even add other fields, for example, embroidery. And you can specify text or text area. So somebody then specifies what they want on it, or their name tag, name tag. Maybe it's like, coveralls or something like that where they have the person's name. Do you want it required? Yes. If not, then no. And you can specify a number of different option types there. Of course, you can upload product images just by choosing a file on your computer. And then when you hit create or update, if you're updating the product, the file will upload. It's always a good idea to also put your image caption there as to what the image is all about. Okay? And of course, if you want to bail out, you can hit the cancel button or hit create. Another feature of products is the ability to have stock. So in this particular product, we've got all these different options, and you can specify whether or not it's a regular size, large size, or extra large, whether or not there are any in short sleeve, built-in headphones, long sleeve, with or without headphones, and so on and so forth. You can even disable stock on the item if you don't want to use stock any longer, or re-enable if you wish. Okay. And if you realize it was a testing product, you have no need for it anymore, you can of course just hit delete. So you just do that. It's going to prompt you, are you sure you want to remove this product? You hit OK. And there you are. That's done. And of course, there's the search facility in here if you want to search for a particular product. And that's all there is to really managing and creating your products. Hope that makes sense.